is Stray Pastor, and welcome to the Horoscope 101 channel. It's Saturday, so it's my day. And this week on the Horoscope 101 channel, it's Gore week. I guess you had to pick horror movies that had plenty of gore in it. And the movie I picked was a movie that I had, but I hadn't watched in a while. And this is the sequel to the original, Hostel Part 2, filmed by Eli Roth. Okay, this is a sequel to the original. Now, a little clarification on my part. The first Hostel I saw, now before I saw, the first Hostel, I remember when it came out or was coming out, and they said, "Oh, this movie is going to be, the absolute, the worst, in terms of this horror and violence. It was going to be the tops. Nothing could top it because." But when I went and I prepared myself for that when I went to go see it, because I thought I may be cringing or something for it, but I found it was a decent horror movie, I thought, but it wasn't as as bloody as I thought it was going to be. Okay, let me put it that way. The original, I didn't find it that bloody, and it was a fairly decent horror flick with some scenes of torture and stuff in it, but it wasn't as intense as I thought it was going to be. Okay, maybe I hyped myself up too much for it, and then it just didn't live up to my expectations. But nevertheless, it was an enjoyable movie, and I saw it. Okay, and now Part 2 it came out, but I didn't. A few years later, and I didn't go see it. But I bought the unrated director's cut of Hostel Part 2, but I hadn't watched it, and so when Gore Week came up, I decided, this is a good chance to watch something, for Gore Week, to watch this movie that I haven't watched, I blind bought, so, I got it. So anyway, in this version of Hostel, in the original, it was some American men that went to Europe and got, the basic plot, they went to Europe and they met some foreign chicks that invited them to a spa, and they got basically tricked into becoming victims of the very rich hunters club that basically got to torture and kill, innocent people. Okay, and I like the movie. Like I said, I like the characters in the first one. In this one, they switched it up and made it with American women, and it's 3 American women in this, and you had Lauren Jermaine, who was, I guess you can say she's like the heroine, the main star. And then you have Heather Matsaro, who was like the chick from Welcome to the Dollhouse, and you have Bijou Phillips, I guess is the slutty one. Okay, so they're 3 American college students, studying abroad, and they get lured to the hotel by actually a European woman, and of course, which is really just a ruse for them to become victims. Okay, now how this movie differs from the original. Like I said, this one, according to this little thing here, well, it says it's supposed to be more violent, intense, and bloody than the original. Now, like I said, they get tricked into, and then the basic plot of them getting tricked into and getting caught and becoming victims of these real rich, obnoxious people. And now, I think the difference between this one and the original is this one, they showed, like I said, in the original, they didn't show this much. In this version of it, they actually show, I guess, like I said, there'll be some spoilers in here for those who haven't seen it. Okay, but I don't try to put any major spoilers in this. But in this one, they actually show the hunters, I guess, from their perspective a little bit, and they split that with the women, showing their so in their point of view, and then also with 2 American men who are basically going over there to torture and hunt, not hunt, but torture and basically torture these victims, innocent victims. Now, after watching this, I would say this is a little bit more bloody, has more gore, I guess, than the original. I think there's several instances that, and I thought very really. I think there's a scene in this movie. I think that was actually, I think it was a lot better than the violence that was in the original one. And the scene. Well, it's a scene involving somebody. Let's put it this way: a scene involving somebody being strung up. Put it that way. Okay, without trying to give it. I'm not want to give away the whole plot, but with somebody being strung up, I thought that scene was more effective than anything that was in the first movie. I thought that scene was just was intense and had a lot of you get a lot of gore in that, and then there's like I said I think maybe two other scenes that has some decent amount of gore in it. And like I said, I think this movie is a little bit more bloody and gory than the original, but I think the original is a better movie than this movie, and I'll tell you why. Okay, the first one, what I liked about it was you get the whole aspect of them going and then being not knowing what's going on, and and then being awakened to the realization of what's going on to them, and then you had them kind of fight back. That way, you had a character fight back, which I thought was good, and you saw that character actually. You got caught up in his struggle, okay, and you see him, take action, that's what I liked about this. In this movie, I don't know, maybe because Eli Roth, I just hate it. And put it this way, I hated the way it ended. Okay, not the way it ended. Okay, but I said what happened towards the end, without giving it away. Okay, with the main character. Okay, I thought it was a cheap cop out. I think in a way. Okay, and for those who haven't seen it, they know. For those who've seen it, know what I'm talking about. Okay, I think it was just a cheap cop out to especially to compare it to the to the original. Okay, I mean just because they're women, I mean you could have. I thought he could have made the hero or heroine in this movie do it a different way. It would have been more realistic. More realistic. I think if they did what they did a different way rather than I think this way was just too quick and easy and just like I said too easy. That's how this come on that if because when you watch it you go what that's how come on they got out of it that way you go come on that's like a cop out almost okay but like I said but the original like I said with the guy it was like a struggle and basically a fight for survival which made you cheer for him and get behind him. This one is kind of a cheap cutout and like I said the difference between this one and this one like I said they show in this movie from the hunter's perspective a little bit not the hunters but I keep seeing the hunters did from the torturer or killer perspective they show a little bit of that which they didn't show in the original okay so but like I said if I have to judge them I would definitely give I think the Hostel Part 2 is more gorier and bloodier but I think the first one is a better movie. It's just a better movie and if I should rate them I'd say the first Hostel movie I would give a 7.5. Okay, I'll give it a 7.5. This one, I would give it a 6.5. Okay, I put it this way. I just didn't like the way they, like I said, that the way the heroine in this movie kind of, I guess, triumphed. I guess I didn't like that, okay? Or not triumphed, but the way they handled a certain circumstance. I thought that was kind of weak, and kind of an easy cop out. Put it that way. Okay, but definitely, like I said, the first one 7.5, but this one I give it a 6.5, just a notch below the original. Okay, and like I said, this movie I think is bloodier, and like I said, the one scene when somebody is basically literally strung up, I thought was more effective than any thing in the first movie. Okay, even though like I said, the first one had its moments, but I think this movie definitely is more bloodier and had more gore in it, I guess, than the original. Okay, so that's my pick for the Horoscope 101 channel. Let me know what you think. If you've seen it, feel free to leave comments down below. This is Trey Passer for the Horoscope 101 channel saying so long and take care.